All right, boys, we're back. Against All Odds, episode 2, Parlay Parlance. I'm your host, Zach, joined by Nitul, Dits, and Shayan. Boys, how are we doing today?
Hello, Zach.
Doing all
Nice to be
right.
here with you.
All right,
Doing well.
today we're
Excited for this episode.
we're talking more Dynasty today, boys. It's the middle of the off season. It's May 29th, a ways to go until the football season actually starts. We're doing a Dynasty super team comparison. We're doing some keep, trade, cut, and we're doing some hypothetical trades with our actual Dynasty teams.
Yes, this is
Uh,
how football fans cope in the off season. We're so far from even a preseason game.
that's right. We got what, 3 months?
Better than 4 months.
Better than 4 months. All right. So first order of business here. We have 4 teams, as you all can see on screen. This is essentially if we had a 4-team leagues, obviously an unrealistic situation, but thought this would be a good conversation to kind of debate between superstars. So should we read through the teams, or you guys want to just take a moment, look through them, and discuss?
Yeah, I think it'll be good
Let's
to
read through them
it.
for the
All right.
audio listeners
All
here.
right. How about Natul? You take team 1, Dits team 2, I'll do team 3, Cheyenne team 4.
I got it.
Got it. Team 1 includes quarterback Jaden Daniels, running back Bucky Irving, and Brees Hall, wide receivers Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown, tight end Brock Bowers, flexes are Nico Collins and Travis Hunter, and 3 bench spots here, Christian McCaffrey, T. Higgins, and Rashee Rice.
Team 2, quarterback, we have Lamar Jackson. Running back, we have Bijan Robinson and Saquon Barkley. At wide receiver, we have CeeDee Lamb and Drake London. Tight end, we have Sam Laporta. At the flex, we have Omarion Hampton and Jonathan Taylor. And the 3 bench spots, we have James Cook, Travion Henderson, and Zay Flowers.
Okay, team 3, we've got Joe Burrow at quarterback. We've got Ashton Genty and Devon Achane at running back. Justin Jefferson and Brian Thomas Jr. at receiver. Trey McBride at tight end. Lad McConkey and A.J. Brown in the 2 flexes. And then the 3 bench spots are Kyron Williams, Quinshawn Judkins, and Rome Odunze.
Team 4, we got Josh Allen at quarterback. Running backs are Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Jacobs. Wide receivers Malik Neighbors, Puka Nacua. Tight end is the brand new Tyler Warren. At the flexes, we have Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, and then in our 3 bench spots, we got Ted McMillan, Chase Brown, and Garrett Wilson. Not McBrown.
All right, so first order of business, we were discussing this a couple minutes ago. Natul, team 4 has a couple players of your own dynasty team: Malik Neighbors, Puka Nacua, JSN. Is that team sticking out to you, or of these 4 kind of super teams, which one is catching your eye?
It's decent. I like it, but it's not my top choice here.
Okay.
I just feel like it kind of falls off. I don't love Tyler Warren. I don't love Marvin Harrison, and I'm not too high on Tet or Garrett Wilson. So,
Wow.
it
Okay.
Can you tell
starts
us
off
why?
with a punch and then it falls off a bit for me. But
I mean, it seems like the punch is just the players that you actually have on your team.
that
He
might
likes
be true. That
those.
might not. I didn't say anything about Gibbs or Josh Allen, but those are great players and they're not on my team. Josh Jacobs too.
Is there
Yeah,
a
I
reason?
was gonna
Good.
mention Jacobs. Of these 8, right? So like the top 2 running backs on each team, right? Irving Hall, Bijan, Saquon, Genty, Achane, Gibbs, and Jacobs. I feel like Jacobs is like a clear tier below everyone else. Do you guys agree with
agree.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know about
did you say Brees Hall you included in that?
Bucky Irving too. Like,
You don't
There's
like Bucky?
Josh Jacobs?
Bucky's amazing.
Bucky's
I
great.
mean, I heard a lot about Rashad coming back this season.
Did you?
Stop it.
What'd you hear
And
about Rashad?
I just heard that he's coming back this season to
Okay.
Did he
take
tell you?
Bucky's.
Did he tell you himself?
He texted me.
Cheyenne's got the inside scoop with some of these players, and
Yeah.
he's almost never wrong. So you got to give it some credit.
So what do you say we go positionally analyzing each team's
Yeah, I like
strengths
that.
and weaknesses.
Let's do that.
I like that. Quarterback. So it's. I think these are the big four. I think a case could be made. Jalen Hurts could be in here, but are these the top four for you guys, or would you put someone else in?
I
This
think
is
these
it
are
for
the
me.
top four, but I just feel like it's a like A1 or 1A tier, and then there's 1B where I put Joe Burrow just because
I
of
was
how
thinking that
rushing
too.
is valued.
Yeah, I
So
would put Jalen Hurts, swap him out for Joe Burrow.
Really?
Okay, yeah. And I will say in the mock that I did in making these teams, they were back to back, Burrow and Hurts. So I think that's a pretty fair take. So Ditz, you're saying Daniels, Jackson, and Allen are in a tier, then Burrow's
yeah,
a
so
step
yeah,
below.
the way I would see it is that I wouldn't take Burrow or Hurts before any of Lamar, Josh, or Jaden.
Okay.
So that's just like how I kind of like to think of things, like in terms of like tiers. So
Okay.
where would I take a guy, and like what guy would I definitely not take before a group? If like a tier 1 guy is available before tier 2, like I'm not taking them. So that's, I just wanted to add that.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
let's think about what we can control here. We got the Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. Then, for those three, Nitul, who do you like? How do you rank them?
I mean, I'm happy with them all. Commanders fan, I'm going Jaden Daniels, but I mean,
Really? You would draft Jaden Daniels over Lamar? I don't know. You might be right.
I'd
I
probably go
don't know.
Lamar. I mean,
It
Well,
is
now
and
you're
Jaden's
saying.
so
only had 1 year,
close.
and it was a phenomenal year.
Are you wearing a purple shirt by chance right now?
It appears I am. Let's go Lamar then.
There we go.
I mean, all three of these guys are unstoppable. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. Um,
But I guess
I
guys, like
agree with
oh god.
Burrow being a fourth.
Yeah, so I guess in terms of this discussion, like if we are trying to like build a dynasty team, um is there really an argument, like we think what Jaden's 24, he had a great rookie season. I mean, we probably know like what,
The best rookie season.
yeah, like even if he does come back down, I feel like we kind of know approximately we're gonna get like what we're gonna get from him. He's in a good offense.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely we know what his running ceiling is. I guess like if Lamar and Josh, let's just like keep our biases aside, say like exactly we weren't Ravens fans, like
Yeah.
like what actually is the reason we would take Lamar over Jaden?
I mean, my reasoning is, the guy hasn't slowed down, right? He's in his
Mhm.
prime. QBs are they have some longevity to them. Now, I don't know how much a running QB has in terms of
Mm.
keeping that speed, keeping that agility, but I think if we're trying to compete in the next 2 or 3 years, Lamar is a better choice. But I don't think it's that different. I wouldn't blame a guy for taking Jaden.
And also, I mean, Burrow's the only one that doesn't use his legs as much out of these four. You know, Josh Allen is a big guy, but he's taking big hits happily.
Mhm.
He's basically a tight end out there.
Yeah.
Lamar and Jaden, I mean, they're both running all over the place too. Lamar might be a little stronger, but I actually saw uh, a comparison picture of Jaden for this year and last year. He's bulked up
Oh, it's that
this year, so
My
off season workout hype is coming in.
off-season
Skinny
workout
Luka.
steroids.
dude, his muscles look bigger, and you know, we'll see how that plays out this year, but I hope it doesn't affect his accuracy.
No,
Have you
yeah,
guys
But he should
seen
be more
Marvin
durable.
Harrison?
Oh yeah,
no,
Marvin
anything is
Harrison's
No,
looking
possible, man.
strong this season. I don't know if you
really?
guys have seen pictures.
yeah,
He's
No.
the hype on his beef up is real for the off season.
You know,
Oh
Zach,
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just thinking more about like having like a discussion based off like strictly as a dynasty asset. Maybe like I just was just curious to get your guys' thoughts on, and like strictly as a dynasty asset, just because Jaden's 24, Lamar's 28, Josh is
Mhm.
I think 29.
He just turned 29. Yeah.
Right. Like what is the case to
Yeah.
taking?
I think it's just if you approach Dynasty with a more of a win now mindset. If you're set on, hey, I want to win a championship in the next 2 or 3 years, I I say like pretty easily go Lamar. I just think, he's had two in both his MVP season a couple years back and what should have been his MVP season last year. He was far and away the best quarterback fantasy wise. It wasn't even that close. Allen was obviously great too, but he had a pretty big gap over Allen.
Let's not
If you're
give the
looking for-
second team All Pro MVP. Come on now.
Don't even get me started. But if you're looking 5+ years, not looking for the immediate championship, I do think I'd go Jaden Daniels over Lamar, and that's coming from a Ravens fan.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about running backs here. Between these four teams, which of them, maybe Dits, maybe you first?
Sure.
Any of these stand out? I think it comes back to that same question partly, like, are you looking to win now, or are you like thinking, hey, let's build something for the next 3 or 4 years? And running backs have a shorter shelf life than quarterbacks and receivers, but I think you
Zach,
can
what
still.
would you say the shelf life is for running backs on average?
The way I view it is I look at it for the next 3 or 4 years. After that, it comes, especially as a rookie, it comes into like, will they get a second contract? Who could that be with? So I usually look in 3 or 4 year increments for running backs.
Unless you're RJ Harvey.
RJ Harvey's got one contract in him and then he's done.
Yeah.
All right, Dits,
Yeah.
how about you first?
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys probably know, and I guess for the new listeners, I think having been burnt by like creating a dynasty team that was win now, for the first 2 years, I think I would like to pivot just my own personal strategy to young assets that I could always flip for high value if I feel like my team is going sideways at any point. So with that being said, I think all these running backs and Bucky Irving, Bijan, Genty, and Gibbs have currently hold a lot of value. Just naturally, if those guys were to go on the trade block, you're probably getting at least one first, like no doubt about that, and probably two, likely two first round picks.
Probably more, like for like
Probably
Bijan and
3.
Gibbs. You're like you need to give up at least 3.
At least or else like you're throwing in a player and like 2 firsts or something like that, like a good player and like 2 firsts. So, maybe not quite on the level of Bijan, but like someone comparable, like maybe the next tier, below that,
Like a Brees Hall or
Easy,
James
yeah.
Cook. Yeah.
Yeah, someone like that. So with that being said, I think if it was just strictly among these 4 running backs, I think like if it's just between these 4, I think I go Bijan just because like I know what that offense kind of looks like.
Let's say between
at
the
the
4
package.
teams, between the 4
Yeah,
teams, we
Look
have
at the
just,
running back
as
package here.
as a little sneak peek, we do have a keep trade cut that involves these top running backs. So let's look in terms of each team duo.
Okay.
Which one do you prefer the most?
Okay, so both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. In that case, then I probably go the Genty HN route.
Mhm.
Just because I think
I don't know, man. I have not to cut you off here.
No, go ahead.
Ashan. I don't know about him anymore. I think his best days are behind him. He had
he had one of the greatest seasons last.
He did.
He was awesome last season.
Last season, wasn't it 2 seasons ago where he
No,
had
last
that
season.
40
Last
point
season.
game?
It was both.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
This is going to be a debate because Dits and I have HN in our other dynasty league, and what you're saying, Shayan, we've seen in the league. People are out on HN. To me, he's easily top 5 dynasty running backs.
Easy.
Probably I'd put him 4th after the Bijan, Genty, and Gibbs.
Wow.
But it's so interesting. He's 23 and a half. He finished as a top 5 running back last season with Tua missing a bunch of games, and the Dolphins offense looking not very good for most of the season.
That's true.
He's a big pass catcher. If we're thinking PPR, he's pretty valuable. They drafted no running back until the 6th round last year. I don't know why people are hating on HN. I know the injury risk is definitely real.
But Gibbs plays the same kind of way, that fast twitchy. Plus Ben Johnson's gone there. So that's where I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm definitely not taking crazy pills for being high on HN. I'm like, this man has been in the league for
No,
2
it's valid.
seasons, and he's
It's
just
valid.
been awesome every time he's touched
Yeah.
the ball.
You might have convinced
Oh.
me. Honestly, I think I'm gonna switch and say
Exactly.
that's my favorite one too.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he lead the league in receptions
For running
as
backs,
a running
yeah,
back? Yeah,
I think he
that's what I'm
had
saying.
78 last year. He led the league
Wow.
in receptions last year,
That's
and
significant.
like I said, with a pretty he had Huntley passing him the ball for
Yeah, with no
3 or 4
quarterback,
weeks,
it's
whatever that
crazy.
was.
Yeah, I genuinely think, and
But
maybe
that probably adds to why he got so many receptions too. All the checkdowns. I mean, put him on a team with a better quarterback. He's not getting that many receptions.
Achan.
No, but on in the games with Huntley, he didn't do much. Like it was mostly the Tua games where he was getting all those catches. It was him
Tua's
and
not all there
It was
either,
him
though.
and Jonnu Smith doing all the catching in Miami, which is odd. I
Yeah.
guess Waddle and Hill both sucked.
Yeah.
But
That's why they're shipping him out to Pittsburgh.
okay.
Right? Did you hear that?
Is that what they said?
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's trying to get Johnny Smith now.
I thought you meant Tyreek Hill. I was like,
also
oh
thought-
god,
No,
please
Jonnu. Adam
Okay, so
Schefter's
Dits, you're
pick.
going HN and Genty. Nitul, what about you?
I'm going Gibbs and Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're both powerful. I think they're both good. I guess how old is Jacobs? He must be getting up there.
Jacobs is 27.3
Yeah.
to be specific.
Okay, yeah. So thank you for being specific.
I got you.
I think he still has that 2, maybe 3 years left in him. Barkley's getting old, so
He's 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
that I think that year
what
does
an
make a
old
difference.
geezer at 28. Man can barely
Couldn't
move.
imagine.
Yeah.
I think for that reason,
Okay, so Jacobs and Gibbs.
I don't mind the
Shayan,
Genti
how
and
about you?
HN. That's a good one, but Gibbs is beastly.
I was initially Bijan and Barkley. I think Barkley has some years in him. I mean, that was sick last year, dude. I still have replays of that backwards hurdle in my head. That was sick to watch. I'm not even an Eagles fan, but so I was gonna say that, but you guys kind of sold me on HN with that quick little explanation you gave me. So I think I might go. Oh, I hate to say it, but in the Dynasty League, I think I might go Genty and HN.
You gotta
Yeah.
remember Genti is still unproven in the NFL.
It's a good.
I have no
that's
doubts
my-
he's gonna do well, but if he's gonna be a Bijan or a Gibbs, I don't know.
But we're
That's,
talking about the value right now. I think you could get a lot for Genty if you.
What are you trading for him right
Dits
now
is
in
trying
Dynasty?
to trade him away before he plays his first game.
You know me.
What
No,
are
I'm
you
just saying,
trading him for?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I think I remember I forget what podcast it was. I was listening to like a guy was talking about how he traded Genty and McLaurin
For
for
Bijan and something?
yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
CeeDee Lamb, and something crazy. Just because like I'm just talking about the value in terms of like what Genty is right now. I don't think it's about his value on the field right now. It's because like what we think he's gonna be.
people get so
Okay.
overhyped, man. I mean, not to discount the guy, but he's.
Well,
It's the
I mean, we
same
so
haven't
what are
seen
you
him play
trading
an
for
NFL
him?
snap. We haven't seen him play an NFL snap yet.
It's just because I think people project him to be like that level. I think Bijan was at the year he was coming out of Texas. Maybe not CMC out of Stanford. No, maybe not quite there, but definitely Gibbs out of Alabama. Yeah, maybe a tier below Saquon out of Penn State.
Yeah.
Not quite, but still pretty high. So,
Yeah.
which is why I think people when they
In
project
terms of number of firsts, how much are you trading for Genti or selling Genti for?
I mean, probably same
first, 3
value, like
first.
2 first. But I just think like for me, I'm not taking
Yeah.
into account like I don't care much like that he hasn't played, that we haven't seen him yet. It's just because I think Genti's value right now is the 101, like undisputed. He's undisputed 101, right? That's like where his value is at.
Dits. So if I offered you 2 firsts and you had Genty, you'd sell him?
I mean, I would probably need another player. It would be like that other trade I was saying, like Genty
Maybe
and like
3 firsts.
another like older player. I could
So
probably get two.
what type of tier would that player be? Like, are you talking like a younger,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
proven player, like a Jalen Waddle type of guy? Or are you talking like a Devontae, like an older guy? Like, what type
Mike
of player are you
Evans.
looking?
Yeah, so let's say maybe not Micah. Say like I had Genty and like I don't know AJ, or maybe not AJ Brown. Like let's just take McLaurin, who probably has like another 2 or 3 good years in him realistically with Jaden. Now, I would easily do like Genty and McLaurin for probably like 2 firsts, and I don't know. It depends, like Lad McConkey, someone like that. We're
Oh,
not.
come on, dude. Who's doing that?
Oh,
Or I'm just saying.
if you're giving up McLaurin too,
Yeah,
I thought you meant if you're getting 2 firsts and McLaurin for Genty, because that's not terrible. I mean, I would still keep Genty, but that's not.
Who's giving 2 firsts and McConkey?
Shine
For
loves Lad McConkey, by the way.
bro, I mean,
But
he's
I agree. That's a lot to give up.
it is
a lot.
I'm just trying to think where it depends. Like it would have to be someone on the.
I mean, Lad is worth 2 firsts alone, so that's putting at like 4 firsts value
Yeah,
for Genty.
yeah.
But like if say a team doesn't have any running backs or something, it's like a trade. I just feel like
Maybe.
people are always willing to like trade for these kinds of players, like these 101 level of players.
That being said,
yeah, go ahead.
let's say like for example, Zach has a likely 101 next year. Can you sell that for like
Wait,
3, 4 firsts?
why do I have the
Why
101
do you-
next year? Whose pick do I have next year? I'm just wondering.
I think you have Dits' pick.
Okay, continue.
Can you go and sell
Too
that
soon.
for 4 mid firsts? 3, 4 firsts.
Wait, what?
Not until we
Can
know
you
the
go
pick.
and sell next year's? Not until we know the pick. Okay.
Yeah, that's way too much to gamble. But like
So
to
it's
that,
not any 101. It's this 101. There's like Genty is
Yeah.
him. Okay.
but to that point though about like Genty and McLaurin for 2 firsts and Lad McConkey, I think Shine was saying if Lad's worth 2 firsts, I think McLaurin's worth roughly a first, right? So you kind of take out 1 first. It's basically a first and McConkey for Genty. I don't think that's a crazy offer.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
I'm not saying like I would definitely take it. I'm just trying to think of like that tier of players where I'm like, you could talk yourself into McConkey. Like we don't know what that offense is gonna. He's probably likely gonna be really good, but I don't know. I mean, Trey Harris. We have. I don't know. I just don't know.
Trey
Hampton.
Harris.
Like if they lean into the running game more, they've invested some resources into that running game, which they didn't have last year. I just wouldn't be surprised if McConkey takes a step back. I just wouldn't. But I'm just trying to like hypothetically, it's like just off the top of my head, that
I
kind of
think it's
trade.
gonna be
It's
one
not
of those
skill based.
offense.
It's situation based.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just feel like trades like that would exist. Like there's gonna be a guy in your league that just wants him.
Just
like
to
101.
that
That's what
Chargers
I'm
offense
saying.
point. I
Like
think it's
there
gonna
will be that one guy who overpays, who would want to.
So, okay, Zach, who did you have out of this running back duo?
I said Genty and Achan. But I do have one last question on running backs for you guys before we move on. If you on team 4, if you took out Jacobs and you put in Hampton, does that make that duo the best to you guys? Gibbs and Hampton?
Yes.
I mean, it was already the best to me. Now it's OP.
But
So
now
close.
it's very close to the HN. But I would still choose that, but it's close to the HN Genty.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's move on to receiver. So we've got Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown on team 1, CeeDee Lamb and Drake London on team 2, Justin Jefferson and Brian Thomas on team 3,
Jets.
and then Malik Neighbors and Puka Nacua on team 4. First question, would you guys say these are the top 8? Or would you say one of these guys should be taken out for a different receiver?
Looks good to me.
Looks
Yeah,
pretty solid.
This looks great.
You know, I'm gonna get hate for this, but I don't know about Drake London, man.
He is
really
the
don't.
one.
I feel that.
He is
Who
the
are you-
one of
okay.
this 8 that I'd take out.
But who are you putting above?
That's not crazy.
But who are you
I don't
putting
know.
above?
I think Marvin Harrison's still a question. McConkey, JSN, like all of these guys are pretty close to London, and we'll also talk about that in the keep trade cut. but it's close with all those guys for me.
I agree.
It's also a situation, right? Like, not on the best offensive team, so
With
all right.
Penix coming in, who knows?
Yeah.
True.
Who knows?
All right,
He
so what are you
played
guys
last
thinking?
season, right?
Who?
Penix.
He started over Cousins the last couple of weeks of the season when they
Right.
benched Cousins. Yeah.
Not enough to say for sure, in my
Yeah, I'm
opinion.
picking Chase and Amon-Ra for this one.
It's between Chase and Amon-Ra and Justin Jefferson and Brian Thomas for me.
Between Chase and Amon-Ra and Neighbors and Puka.
Yeah, this one's like tough because do we all agree Chase is the number one receiver in Dynasty?
Easily.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty clear. But man, something about like Jefferson and Thomas to me is
It's awesome.
very nice. Same with Neighbors and Nakua. I'm kind of out on team 2 in compare. I mean, still great, Lamb in London, but I think it's a step below the other 3. If I had to say one, if I had to pick, I'd pick team 3, but it's really close.
I have to think that Brian Thomas will get some of his target share stolen by Travis Hunter. I know you guys don't think so, but I mean, there's only so much ball to go around.
T. Higgins is on the Bengals. Jamar's awesome.
But he's proven even with that. Like we just don't know with Hunter what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But to that point, it's always a question when they bring in a new receiver, does that take away the coverage and it makes Thomas better, or is it going to take away his target share and make him worse? It's hard to say.
Point.
I mean, it's easily Chase and Amon-Ra, right?
I don't think it's easy. I think it's really close between Chase, Amon-Ra, and Jefferson and Thomas.
Wow.
I mean, let's also consider age, right? So Chase is 25 and a half. Amon-Ra is 25 and a half. So both, obviously not old, but on the older side.
Not even in their prime yet.
Sure, but compared to Neighbors, who's not even 22, Jefferson's 26, Puka's 24, Brian Thomas is 22 and a half. So it's kind of like if you view these guys all very close, maybe with the exception of Chase, like do you factor in the 2 or 3 years younger? I think that's kind of why I like at least one of the guys being 21, 22. Like that's what's exciting about Brian Thomas and Neighbors.
True. Were all those ages off the top?
Yeah. I know all the ages.
But, all right, so far we have team 1 or 2 being in the lead for QB, right? Probably team 3 for running back. Team 1 or 3 for wide receiver.
And I think Nitul will fight for team 4 also for receiver, which is totally fair. I think Nakua and Neighbors it's an insane duo.
Nuka.
Nakua. All right, let's do tight end. I think it's pretty easy Bowers. I don't think anyone disagrees.
Bow wow.
Yeah. I know Nitul loves Sam Laporta. Nitul loves Laporta. To me,
but I'll give it to Bowers, honestly.
Bowers is in his own tier. I'd say McBride's in his own tier after Bowers, and then I'd put Laporta and Warren in their own tier 3.
I agree. No notes. I just want to know.
What say you?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's Bowers for sure. Bowers. Then to me, it's.
Where's? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know much about McBride. I should study his game more. But can you guys inform me on him? Is he how is he looking?
Yeah, I mean, man's insane. His biggest issue last season was he just couldn't get a receiving touchdown. He got a fumble recovery touchdown. I think he got a rushing touchdown. He finished, I believe, as the tight end 2 in fantasy with basically no touchdowns.
No touchdowns, yeah.
He's 25 and a half. Bowers is 22 and a half. So definitely a bit of an age gap. But he's easily, I mean, even above Harrison, he's easily Kyler's number 1 target.
He's one of my sleepers for just fantasy football, just in general, Dynasty or just standard. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that what Zach was saying. I think he got super, super unlucky with the touchdown. So
in that case, I'd say Bowers, McBride, Laporta, and Warren.
Zach, where's your boy Loveland?
I would put Loveland next. I think
He
it's
fifth?
between him and Kittle are interesting for next.
Yeah, I was about to say,
There's a
do you go with
10-year
Kittle
age
if you
gap between
win
Kittle
now?
and Loveland, which is an interesting debate. And Dits, I don't know if McBride can be called a sleeper at this point. I feel like he's
No, just because, no, I know, not a sleeper. I just mean more
Just like him.
he's
terms of
underappreciated.
yeah.
He just meant it's on the sleeper app.
The sleeper app.
Nah, I just mean because like I think if you were to look at like his point total from last year, like I just think it could be so different next year. And I was like, I just don't
Yeah.
think people would be drafting him like fully realizing like how unlucky this guy got in the end zone. So
Yeah, it was crazy. But
Yeah.
also with Bowers, I think he only had 5 touchdowns last season,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like he basically broke all the records for
Raw.
tight end, and he had 5 touchdowns. Like imagine him with 11 or 12, which is
Yeah.
not a crazy
no, it's
thing
not.
for him. Like that's just unfair. All right, let's talk about flex. What are you guys thinking here? We have Nico Collins and Travis Hunter on team 1,
Flex.
Hampton and Taylor on team 2,
Flex.
Cheyenne's old team McConkey and AJ Brown on team 3, and JSN and Marvin Harrison on team 4.
Team 1.
Team
Really?
1, Nico
That's easy.
Collins and
Really?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, AJ Brown sucks. Marvin Harrison sucks.
Whoa,
Jonathan
whoa,
Taylor,
wait,
Jay Riss.
Whoa.
Nico Collins, Travis Hunter. Great.
I
Wow.
would give it to team 3.
I
know
think
you
I'm
would.
leaning
we know.
4. I
You
think
said
I'm
team
leaning
4?
4. Yeah.
Dude, AJ Brown is on a team with too many mouths to feed.
And he still gets fed. Because they have a bountiful
doesn't.
feast every night.
Dude, look at his points.
Yeah,
so
look at
inconsistent.
these points, man.
He
gets-
should be doing a lot better than he is. He's
But
talented.
he has the juice. It's not that he doesn't have the juice. It's just
It's the juice.
the
But
team
he
just
doesn't
went
have the
so
points.
run heavy.
But at
Yeah.
what point, if you have the juice and the team doesn't want to drink you, does your juice even matter?
Yeah.
At the point of AJ Brown.
I don't know what you guys are talking. I mean, have you seen his points per game? He's in a PPR league. He's getting like 16 or 17 a game.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, not.
I'm
too
not
far
making
off.
the case for AJ. I'm just like, I just don't think he's still a pretty good dynasty asset. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm
He's a
a
good
team
player,
4
yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
I'm a
same.
JSN Marvin Harrison guy, both under 23 or what's JSN,
Right.
23 and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
Tell me what you like about Marvin Harrison, because last year he didn't do all that.
I think it's just you have to still give the potential its
get
credit,
it.
right? Like he had a disappointing season for how hyped he was, no doubt. But like realistically, should have even in redraft leagues, he went like back of the first, early second round. That's just too early for a guy who's never played the NFL to get drafted in fantasy. So I think his expectations were crazy. He was definitely a bit disappointing, but he's still super young. He's attached to a decent quarterback. I still like him long term for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
Dits,
mean,
I
let
don't
me
know.
ask you a question.
I don't like
Dits,
it.
Yeah.
relevant to the times. Which side of this trade do you think is better between JSN, a first and a second, or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
JSN, a first and a second for Amon-Ra.
Yes.
Wait, was that the trade?
No, this is just a
Oh,
hypothetical question.
Okay.
I'm just
I was
asking.
gonna say, don't break me on live recording. Okay. JSN, a first and a second.
I mean, it
For-
could always break on live. I never know what could happen. I'm just posing a hypothetical question for you.
I mean, you gotta go with that. You go get JSN, get that first and second.
Wow,
You don't-
really? I
yeah.
didn't think you'd say that.
Really? You guys are taking the Amon-Ra?
I mean,
It's hard to
I-
say.
Close. He offered me that.
listen, I
Really?
have a win now team.
Bro,
Cheyenne
what?
has a
Cheyenne,
Cheyenne
what?
has a
Actually,
rebuildish
Cheyenne offered
team,
it
so
and then rejected his own trade. Is what happened.
don't get me started.
My goodness.
Only
Cheyenne.
something a terrible person could do.
I mean, the first in question is.
Wait, Cheyenne, when did you get
guaranteed-
JSN? Did this
No.
also happen?
No,
The Tool is offering JSN a first and a second to Cheyenne for Amon-Ra.
my
And by
God.
Nitul offering, I mean Shayan offered and then chickened out.
Shayan offered me Amon-Ra and took it away. He hung it in front of my face.
Wait, so
I
that
was
offer
running
was
on the treadmill. I couldn't catch it.
that offer was in your inbox, Nitul.
No, it
No,
was
it
in
was
my
in his
Or
messenger
just your
chat.
inbox.
DMs? Okay.
it was in my Amon-Ra was in my DMs.
Okay.
But yeah, I was curious based on the talks today, which side you preferred. Sounds like you'd go JSN first in a second,
I don't even think it's that hard.
which is also what I would pick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that's also your team is definitely rebuild mode. So
Or just in general, I think from like
if
the
you were in a
mistakes.
if you're in a like contending team, you'd still do that.
Yeah, I just don't think the difference between. I mean, if you're contending, like the rest of your team's probably pretty good. That's a lot of like Jason's good, man. Like he was good.
You're right, Shayan. I don't even want it anymore.
Shayan's gonna send it right there. It
Yeah,
is. It's
otherwise I
on
say
the
this is what
screen.
gets him to send it. This is
Look,
what
all it
gets him
took
to
was
send
us
it.
starting a podcast for Nitul to get Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's a beautiful thing.
Don't
Wait,
worry,
just going
I'm
back
not
to.
doing it yet.
Go ahead.
Send it you want.
Yeah, going back to the Marvin Harrison debate, just like one, I remember like I saw this stat. I just thought it was kind of interesting, like even though just kind of an interesting one for Harrison. I saw that he had the 19th most targets out of like all receivers last year, which I still thought was like that's not nothing. Like even though he was like you think of Marvin Harrison last year, like he was pretty mid, but you're like, oh, he still got within top 20 amount of targets. So, like I figure he's definitely not going to get worse. You know, like off the top of my head, I probably would have thought Marvin Harrison like was probably 40, like more closer
Yeah,
to
yeah.
40
40.
years old.
Yeah. Or 40th and like amongst wide receivers for targets because it seemed like he was just like not impactful at all. But just like another reason for why I still think I would personally be pretty high on Marvin Harrison. So the exact number was 114 targets. So 19th
Yeah, not
amongst
bad.
98 wide receivers. So
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up quickly with the benches before we move on to the next segment. So team 1,
Ben
CMC, Higgins, and Rashi Rice. Team 2, James Cook, Travion Henderson, and Zay Flowers. Team 3, Kyron Williams, Quinshawn Judkins, and Odunze. And then team 4 is Tet, Chase Brown, and Garrett Wilson.
this is tough.
I think it's between two for me. I'm gonna go. I'm between team 2, which is Cook, Henderson, and Flowers, and team 4, which is McMillan, Brown, and Wilson. I'm gonna go team 4, McMillan, Brown, and Wilson. I think.
Between 2 and 1 for me.
Between 2 and 3 for me.
See, the issue is Kyron.
3 and 4
I
for
think
me.
I think he's good enough to be on starting over maybe even Josh Jacobs, but especially if he gets that contract extension. But I mean, there's such a steep drop off between the rest of the bench and the other benches. Quinshawn Jenkins and Rome Odunze. I don't know how I feel about them.
Yep.
I'm big
Yeah,
on
I don't-
Odunze
yeah.
this year. I think Odunze
Likewise.
is going to have a breakout this season. With Allen gone, I feel like I know there's a lot of targets to feed. Bird and Loveland, DJ Moore, Odunze, but I feel like if Caleb Williams can take the next step forward, Odunze doing much better has to come as a byproduct of that. So I like Odunze a lot, but
I do too.
I
I
mean, the
definitely get
first
the hesitation.
sentence, you gave an if statement there, and that was a big if statement. Like if Caleb Williams takes a step forward, I don't know how he is or if
Big
he's going to
if.
do that.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was Shane Waldron, OC last year was not great. They got, like Dits mentioned, Ben Johnson from the Lions. I think that's going to help them a lot. It was basically asking a rookie quarterback to come in with maybe the worst offensive line in the league with a pretty poor OC and say, hey, like make this work. So I think, hey, with some upgrades to the offensive line, better play calling, and like a year under his belt, I think he'll easily do much better, but we'll see.
Yeah, I
We'll
think
see.
Zach, one of my stats I like with Odunze, like why I'm also high on him. Just like a wide receiver stat I like using is just average depth of target, and I
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to find. I
What
believe
was
his
that?
top 10 average depth
Average
of target.
depth target.
It's like how far is he running for targets, and I think it was 10.
And
Oh, it's 11th.
It was like 9. Oh yeah. Okay.
11th. So which I still, and he was on the field a lot. 6th for like pass snaps.
Do you have
Um,
that list up right now or no?
What list?
The A dot list.
No. I was just looking at PFF, but
I wonder who's at the top of that list.
It's
yeah,
probably like one of those just only chuck it
Jefferson,
deep type of guys.
yeah,
MVS.
Mike Evans. But yeah, I think that's like one snap that I like to use for wide receivers, and I just know that I figure the Ben Johnson offense is gonna get better, so like all these, like he was still on the field a lot, Odunze. He didn't get as many targets, but if I just feel like this offense should. There's no reason that this offense shouldn't get better. He was a top 10 pick, so I'm still. This is. I just wanted to add this on to your Odunze um, message. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's tricky when you're a rookie and you're being asked to catch all these contested deep targets, right? I don't know the exact number of A dot Dits if you have it. It was like 19 something. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I think off the top of my head. But if they give the man more slants and some easier routes, even some screens like they do for DJ Moore, I think it's a pretty easy improvement. So yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. So I think Nitul, you said, what was your final pick between these
2.
four? Team 2. So Cook,
Cook,
Henderson, and Flowers.
Flowers.
Dits, what was your final?
I changed it 2 and 3, but it's. I say you go, Zach. So it's this tough.
I think it's Williams, Judkins, and Odunze.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
leaning
very
that
close.
way. But I don't love Judkins. As I like Henderson a little more. That's where I lean. A guy like Kyron and Odunze probably a little more than Cook and Zay, but I guess like by that rule, I just got to go majority.
Okay.
Let me get 2.
And Shayan, you said 4?
I
Oh,
said
sorry,
4, yeah.
3.
Okay. And last question, boys. Can you guess which team I drafted? It might have been obvious based on my favorite players, but
I
you might
think
not
it's
have been
3.
paying attention.
Team
Yeah,
3.
it's got to be 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went 3 on all of these, bro.
That's why I like it. Well, not quarterback, but I do think the running back is pretty easy.
Did
Team
you
3.
end up with Burrow or?
Yeah, it
how
was
did that
basically
work?
my choice between Burrow and Hurts, and I chose Burrow, but I view them basically the same.
But Zach, I think another interesting thing that we should ask like new listeners when they're trying to build their dynasty team is like ask around to see what HN's value in your
Yeah.
dynasty league is. Because if people are this down on him, you could probably get him for a
I
lot
don't
better
know.
price than you in your head.
Yeah.
Like for us, like we could have probably gotten HN for less.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually kind of did in our league. So
Yeah, just for reference, we traded away the 102, which was used for Hampton, and we got Achan and a first.
111, yeah.
To me, I view them as basically equal value, Achan and Hampton. So to us, that was an easy trade.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach, I gave up a lot for HN from you
Yeah.
in our league.
Yeah, Nitul did, and
2
that's because
firsts,
you're
a second, and 2/3.
Yeah, Nitul gave up a lot. I think that's more what his value should be, especially if you're in a win now situation, which you are.
What was the trade again, Nitul? I can't remember. Say that again.
It was a 2025 first, a 2026 first, a second, and 2/3.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Also,
You guys got a good deal
your
on
first will likely be low.
That's true.
But the 2025 was a high first, so it balances out. All right, boys, let's do some keep trade cut, shall we?
Let's go.
Love it.
Let's go.
All right. Quarterback number 1, we've got Drake May, CJ Stroud, and Bo Nix. And the way we'll do this is, for the trade portion, I don't know, Nitul, let me know what you think. I don't think we should. Do you guys want to value what you'd get back in a trade as part of the kind of vote, or do you want to just do like the best is keep, the second best is trade, the worst is cut?
I think that makes more sense.
Okay.
First, second,
Okay.
third. What do you guys
Okay.
think?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Sounds good.
All right. Maybe Cheyenne. Any gut reaction? Drake May, CJ Stroud. Bo
You know,
Nix.
I know Drake May has the hype, and I'm excited to watch him live up to it. But I'm big on Bo Nix, so I'm gonna go hit with him for my trade. I'm gonna cut Drake May, and then CJ Stroud. You know, he's been doing great. I think
Interesting.
he has
Not where I
Nico
thought you were going with
Collins.
it.
Yeah.
Really, you thought I was gonna cut CJ Stroud?
No.
Well, I'm
Trade.
keeping CJ Stroud. Um, I think with Nico Collins, and they just added another receiver as well, maybe to fill in Tank's shoes. It's not
Mhm.
really sad what happened to Tank, by the way. Let's pause for a moment. No, that was such a BS injury, man. In garbage time, he just got injured and whatever.
By his
I
own
hope he
teammate
bounces
too.
back from that. Yeah,
Back-to-back seasons too, right?
Yeah, it sucks. And I think they said he's out all this upcoming season already.
Jesus Christ.
So it's tough, man. The NFL is so like the gap is so small between players. You just wonder if he'll ever make it back. But I hope he does.
Wait, so you're cutting Drake May?
Cutting Drake May.
Wow.
You gotta cut one of them.
Wow. Nitul, how about you?
Yeah, trade May,
Goodness.
keep Bo, cut Stroud.
Cut Stroud.
Because May has some good value right now. I mean, you have to cut one of these guys. Everyone's hyped about May. I think Bo is the future, dude. I think that offense is about to be insane. He's the answer. So I want him on my dynasty team.
Seems like you want him in another
I
way
have him on
too.
my dynasty team. All right,
All right, Dits.
that's me. It's
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping Drake May. I just thought he was really.
Really what? Really handsome.
sounds like
Wait,
I'm
hold on,
trading Drake May to Dits.
Wait, my screen just froze.
Okay, I'm
One
cutting
sec, can you-
Dits from the podcast. I'm trading Cheyenne.
Yeah,
Keep Nitul.
Let's go.
Yeah, while Dits figures out his tech issues, I'm easily cutting CJ Stroud. And then I'm between Nix and May, and it's close. I think I keep Drake May and I trade Bo Nix. If we're factoring in like value in a trade, I'd probably trade away May because I think he's perceived as having more value. But if we're just kind of ranking them, I'm going May, Nix, Stroud.
You think May's gonna perform better than Knicks?
I think long run, yes.
Wow. Okay.
I think he's
We'll see.
3 years younger too, which doesn't feel like it since Nix is only in his second
It
season.
doesn't
But
matter as much for quarterbacks though.
I know.
Not as much as the other players.
Yeah, but it's close. It's definitely close
Close,
between
yeah.
those two.
Okay.
Wait,
Do
Zach,
we have
so
Dits back?
yeah, I'm here. Wait, so you said you're trading May? Is that what
I'm
you
keeping May,
keeping May?
trading Nix, cutting Stroud.
Okay, that is same.
Okay.
I think that offense is going to be good. Mike over. I think I saw a lot of I liked what I saw with May last year with the legs. I thought he had some great throws. Just like generally, it's a weird offense, but I'm high on the Patriots. Like, I know I'm just trying to.
bring Belichick back.
No,
He's
trying
busy.
to.
He's busy with his
I'm busy with Jordan.
In
lady.
college, right?
Yeah,
College aged.
Wow.
college
Crazy.
age.
Yeah,
College age.
like yeah. This was the stat I was trying to find. I know he had like weirdly like the second most scramble yards. So, like 400. Yeah, and
Drake May
the
did?
dude had some wheels, and I think
Oh
like
wow.
you give him some more design runs. I think he was 16th. With design, yeah, it says 16th here with designed runs, but the scrambling thing was like I felt it just watching it live. That the dude just had like an elusiveness that is definitely very valuable in fantasy. So, yeah, I mean, and just like I just feel like that offense is going to be better. So I am taking a leap of faith with that, but I feel like May had all the goods. So I'm keeping May, trading Knicks, cutting Stroud. So also it's kind of funny thinking like how I feel like probably Stroud was probably a top 5 QB last year. It's funny that
Yeah,
That's
he's
insane.
fallen
such
off a
a
bit.
big drop off. Granted,
I
like
mean,
I
yeah, but
think
that he
Slowick's
can, like,
gone, but yeah, go
it
ahead.
can come back. It can come back.
Yeah, no, I know their OC. Zach, isn't Slowick gone? Correct.
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay, right. Okay. So I think definitely like it's probably going to be better, but I just think like the way I think of it is that I just would hate to just draft pocket passers in fantasy football if I don't have to. Like if I can get these guys with who can run, scramble or design run, whatever it may be, I just think that's just so much more valuable. So and a little more reliable as well. So
Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
let's do this next one. Let's do it a little quick. Let's do Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray, and threw Cam Ward in there to see kind of where you guys stand on him.
I'm gonna have to Cam Ward stand for me. I don't know if he's gonna be traded or cut or kept. I guess trade in this sense doesn't actually mean trade. It just means we value him second. So he's either second or first for me. I feel what you're saying with the
Tough.
Caleb comeback, but yeah, you know what? We're gonna gamble on it. Good luck to Caleb. I can't get down with Kyler. I didn't like the way he did not really pass to like Marvin Harrison last year. I was kind of mad at that. This might be an emotional reaction, but I'm cutting Kyler, trading or oh man, but that means I have to keep Caleb or Cam. They're kind of on the trade level. Come back to me. Come back to me, Zach.
Okay.
I mean, what's
ahead,
wrong
Nitul.
with Cam Ward? I'm keeping Cam. Between the two of them, I don't know who has more trade value, but I'll in terms of first, second, and third, I guess I'll trade Kyler and cut Caleb. I hate Caleb Williams. I mean,
For
he was
1
just
year? Oh my
Okay.
god.
I think I'm the
he
opposite.
was a
So
bum last year.
Dits, I
Same.
don't know about you. I'm
Yeah.
keeping Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I'm trading Kyler and I'm cutting Cam Ward.
That's
Wow.
my same exact order.
Wow.
Yeah.
After 1 year, guys, like
yeah.
Ben Johnson's coming. Like,
you have to think
this
about
offense-
also the hype of Caleb Williams coming in.
Yeah.
They viewed him as like the next Joe Burrow, the next Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
who also kind of
He was
busted.
my Lizan Al
And he
Gaib.
underperformed so much.
But it's that same thing, right? Like we know Caleb Williams held the ball a lot in college. Obviously, in the NFL, you can't do that as long. So that's one tendency he had to break. Match that up with a bad OC and a terrible offensive line. It's like, yeah, he's gonna struggle, right? But like,
Zach, like to that point. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, go for it.
I'm blanking. Who was there? Oh my god, who's the OC for Chicago that was in Seattle? Oh my god, what was his name? The OC last. No. Oh my god, why am I?
Kingscliff or something.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
No.
I don't know.
Well, you find that.
Yeah, hold on. Go ahead.
So that's mine. Cam Ward, I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll come in and be amazing, but I know people going into the draft had a lot of questions about him. Murray is just like fine. I don't think he's going to live up to his number one pick potential ever. But it's the way I view it is it's 3 number one pick quarterbacks, all who have the potential to be great, but have at least one glaring weakness.
But yeah, I got it. It's Shane Waldron. So I don't know if you guys remembered. He was also the OC in Seattle. He was part of that McVay tree. He was one of those guys that got hired from that tree. But if you guys remember, infamously, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a interview with JSN. I believe it is
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
dude. And they asked him. This was after Waldron took the job at Chicago as the new OC, and then they were asking him. I think the person interviewing was asking JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, what Chicago is getting in the new offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron, because he was just in Seattle, and his response straight up was, "Are we live right now?"
Yeah.
And it's
Jason is like, how do I not totally throw this guy under the bus for being terrible?
Yeah, and and we see he screwed things up in Seattle, or not screwed. He just completely mismanaged talent in Seattle. Same thing happened in Chicago. That man gets fired in a year. I think he had one like decent season with LA when he was on the Rams. And it's like I just think that upgrade, and I feel like this is true in football, definitely like where coaching like is so evident. You know the teams that are coached well. And I just think like the new coaching regime that's coming to Chicago, like even if you're down on all the other skill players, you have to think Caleb's high. Caleb's gonna get better. Caleb is
Yeah.
gonna get better.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like I don't even think it's very close. Like I'm keeping Caleb. I think I'm probably trading Kyler. I don't remember if that's what you said, Zach, because I think Kyler still
Yep.
holds value
That's
in
what I
leagues,
said.
and he's still been at least consistent enough where he could at least get a first round or like a first round worthy talent. So, and you know, Cam Ward. We don't really know
We
anything
just don't
about
know.
Tennessee's
Yeah.
offense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move to running back. I think what we'll do, guys, since we're already closing out on an hour, we'll save the trades for next episode.
Okay.
If that works for you guys, so we can spend time on the keep trade cut.
And hopefully Nitul and I will have a completed trade by that point.
Yes, because I do want to get
Yes.
into those, so we'll save those for episode 3.
And let me just get back to, I never actually said my answer, but I'm
Yes, go
gonna
ahead,
say
Shayan.
keep Caleb, trade Cam, bye Kyler.
Didn't you just say you hated Caleb Williams a second ago? And you wanted
I
to
did
cut him?
before your explanation. Listen, I'm here to learn, man.
Okay.
I'm here to learn from you
I
and Aditya, who are very knowledgeable.
okay. Hey, I like that you're open to knowledge. That's what matters most.
Always.
All right. Running back, we have a big one to kick us off, boys. We have Bijan, Gibbs, and Genty, which I previewed before, but I think this is a big one. Right? I think like consensus top 3 running backs. I don't know if there's any debate on that, dynasty-wise. How do you guys view these 3? Genty is 21.5. Gibbs and Bijan are both 23.3. I think they're the same age, 23.3.
This is tough. I know who my top is. I don't know who my second and third are.
I think Bijan's number 1 for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I just want to know. I mean, I realize it probably should be Genty, but just because like as some you going Gibbs number 1?
I'm going Gibbs number 1.
Oh.
Okay.
Shit.
But yeah, I mean, as you guys have probably figured out, I just want to know what I'm getting at my running backs, and I just prefer that, just given a shorter shelf life generally for them. Bijan's been pretty healthy up until now. Not that Gibbs and Genty haven't, but I just think I know what I'm getting from Bijan the most, and he produces at a high level. I feel like Genty's probably most likely going to be the highest producing running back out of these 3, but I think the Atlanta offense is solid. I don't really know what this new Raiders offense is gonna look like per se. Again with Lions, I just have so much respect for Ben Johnson and everything he did there, scheming up like 2 running backs to make them fantasy relevant. Like I just don't think that's something like a lot of OCs can do. Like I feel like we probably would have seen that more if that was a thing. Just scheming up all those guys, Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Laporta, Jamison Williams to make them all relevant. But yeah, I think I'm going Bijan, Genty, Gibbs. Yeah, that order.
Bijan, Genty, Gibbs. Okay. Nitul, how about you?
I think based on proven talent, I'll go Bijan, Gibbs, Genty.
You're cutting your beloved Ashton
Cutting him.
Genty. Wow.
These are
And
the only
Shayan,
2 guys I'll cut him for.
okay. And Shayan, you had some big reactions to Dits' opening thoughts here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm cutting Genty.
Wow.
I'm keeping Gibbs. And I'm trading. I'm between. You know, I thought Gibbs was my clear top, but I'm actually between Gibbs and Bijan for my top. But I'm definitely cutting Genty.
Wow.
I mean, he has a lot to live up to. We haven't seen him play. We've seen Gibbs and Robinson play, and they play well. They play very well. So I'm gonna have to go Gibbs, Robinson, Genty. But I don't blame anyone for going Robinson, Gibbs, Genty.
Yeah, Zach, just before you hop in, I just wanted
Yeah.
to clarify. I was keep Bijan, trade Genty, cut Gibbs. I don't think I actually verbalized that. So
Yep.
I just want to make sure I was clear about that.
Yep, got
Right.
you. Yeah, this is so tough for me. I think I keep Bijan,
Good boy.
trade Gibbs, and cut Genty.
Wow.
I love them all, but I think when it's this close, it comes down to, hey, we just don't know how Genty. He's on the Raiders. They've been a pretty bad team the past couple of seasons. They'll give him a ton of work, but hey, if one of these guys were to become a disappointment, like Brees Hall did, who we'll talk about next, it's Genty. We already know Gibbs is going to be great. We know Bijan's going to be great. Genty's the only question mark, and so lower touchdown opportunity versus the other two guys, unproven. It's so close, but I think of the three, I have to cut him, and then Bijan just slightly over Gibbs. But to me, it's a coin toss between Bijan and Gibbs, 1 and 2.
Zach. I just think how do you think this value would have changed? Like, say instead of Genty, it was just 101. Because I'm like, I just feel like people like the week before the draft one, if they find out 101 is on the table, it's like,
Well, I
I
mean,
just
people
feel like,
love it. People
yeah.
love it.
And
But
that's where I'm like coming at when I
Pick
say like
value is the
trade
highest the
Genty.
day of the draft, and leading up to it, it just gets higher and higher until that day.
But like
That's why
Genty's value hasn't changed. Like if it's 101, like people are still, yeah. I never. I mean, I do see what you're saying. It's like people don't know what their team exactly looks like at this point, but still, I'm like, I just think 101. That's not nothing. So
yeah, but
it's
it's like if someone told you, hey, the 101, the guy you draft with the 101 is the third best running back in the league behind Bijan and Gibbs, I feel like everyone would take that. Like, okay, that's a great deal. Like, I am good with that. It's hard to come in and say, hey, that pick's going to just immediately be the best running back in the NFL.
yeah, I agree. I'm just like, I just feel like there's always gonna be like a few people in the league that would trade overpay for like Genty. Out of all of these guys, I feel like someone in a league would probably overpay for 101. This is like that's where I'm like trying to. I came up. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like where I'm like, man, like what player out of these three do you think someone in your league is going to overpay for? And I think it's Genty.
I think it's all of
I
them.
think that's
I agree.
It's an emotional reaction. I mean, if someone came to me and they were like, before the draft, if they said, here, I'll trade you Gibbs for your 101 for Genty. Um, I I really not. I want to make that draft pick. I want to click that button and take that new player that's exciting that I get to learn about and that I'm taking a risk on. So,
But realistically, you
but
probably should do it.
yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's
But
also the
also,
age factor,
yeah,
though, as well.
yeah, that's true.
But it's 21 versus
Very true.
23. Like it does matter, but it's small. But
Zach, I just want to make a note on a point you made about him being on the Raiders and having a lot of work. I mean, I if they do if they do work him to the bone, then he might not have that many years in him. And it definitely looks like they're gonna have to do that. So that's definitely a bit concerning,
and that's
injury
what's nice
wise.
about Gibbs too.
Yeah.
Like he comes in, he gets those high value
Yes,
receptions.
Yeah.
And they put in Montgomery to take all the dirty work,
yeah.
which got him injured last year. But like that 1-2 punch, it works. Like it's been proven that it's great.
Sonic and Knuckles, such a great
I was
nickname.
gonna say what Sonic and Knuckles.
All right, next up, this is an interesting one. These are kind of like low end RB1s in Dynasty, at least in my mind. But let me know if you guys disagree. Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor, and Brees Hall, back to back in most ratings. All have their flaws. All very good in some ways. Taylor's 26.5. Kyron and Brees are both 24 something. So close in age, but curious what you guys think of these three.
Yeah, man. I'm not a big Brees Hall guy.
Is anyone though? No one likes, as a Brees Hall owner, I hate him too. No one likes him, but he always lingers around like, hey, what if he was not on the Jets, or what if the Jets could get their shit together?
Yeah. And I don't
Also,
know.
are we saying this if he didn't have such a weird season last year?
That's true, but you got to factor that in. Go ahead, Shane.
I mean, I was gonna. I think Kyron is the best of these, regardless. Um, I think if he gets that contract extension, it's clear keep for me. That is the main question here, for me at least. Even still, I think it's keep Kyron. You know, Jonathan Taylor, he was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, RB, like, it was not that high last year, right? It was like 11 or something.
Something like that. I think that's right.
That is a little concerning. But what was
Cheyenne likes his
Brees?
running backs in the top 10. Okay,
Does anyone
noted.
know what Brees was last year?
Oh, he was like a mid to low RB2, like 18 or 19 or something like that.
Okay, well, I mean, I
think
get the
18.
age. I get the age is different, but I like the way Jonathan Taylor plays. I've seen him run, and I think it's nice. So I'm going trade Jonathan Taylor and the cut Brees.
Okay. What about you, Dits?
I think I might zag. I think I'm keeping Brees Hall just because I don't.
Oh my!
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I think Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams had his like injury season 2 years ago. I'm just always kind of scared of the running back by committee stuff in LA. That's happened since the I guess like the Gurley days. Like, it wasn't committee with Gurley, I granted, but I just feel like that offense just plugs in running backs like a lot. And I mean, Kyron had his healthy season last year, but like 2 seasons ago, like he was not very healthy. And I think let's just say like Kyron's season 2 years ago happened last year, and we had Brees' season last year kind of coinciding with each other. Who would I take going into this year? I still think, I mean, the Jets were a dumpster fire last year.
Well, you can't just offer a completely backwards hypothetical and then choose based on
No, it's not that, because
hypothetical.
I just think like Kyron had his weird season 2 years ago. Brees had his weird season last year. That's all it was. Brees has been awesome since then. Like, I think Brees really only had one season where it wasn't great. I just think I would probably still bet on Brees Hall being better than what he was last year. And I just think out of all of these people, who was a guy willing to pay like a good return for? I think it's Kyron. I'm not sure people are really going to try to trade for Taylor and Brees.
Let me ask you, Dits. In all your analysis, you look at it through the value of what could I get in a trade. At what point, as a dynasty owner, do you consider like, hey, this guy actually scores a lot of points right now? I'm not roasting. I've just noticed like the way Shayan and Nitul view it is like, hey, who's gonna score me points right now? And most of yours is, hey, like value in a trade, which I think is like both correct ways of viewing dynasty value. But I'm like, that's interesting. I think I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah, I agree. I do think I lean probably inside. I just don't. I think the Kyron hesitation for me is like I could see him like fully just getting replaced because they keep drafting running backs. They had Corum last year. I'm blanking on the guy they drafted this year. So like decently.
They're about to extend it.
I mean, to that point though, and this is my concern, right? So Brees Hall was drafted 36th overall by the Jets. Taylor was 41st by the Colts, and Kyron was 164th overall by the Rams. How often do we see a 6th or 7th round running back actually make it a long time in the NFL? Almost never. Like, we thought Dameon Pierce might be good. We thought James Robinson might be good. These like late round picks.
Rip.
Philip Lindsay. All these guys had like 2 or 3 years where they were great. And then the team says
Dameon Pierce was never great.
His rookie season, he had like 1,100 yards rushing. He was top. Yeah. He was an RB1.
That's why Zach traded a first round.
That's why I traded a first round. Fucked me over. But like, we see this all the time. Whereas if you draft Brees and JT, you have that, like, I mean, at this point it's been a little bit, so maybe they don't have as much of that sunk cost type of thing. But that's my concern with Kyron. Like, the Rams could just move off him to Corum.
Yeah, that's my thing. I think we see this every year. What happened with like, this is what, like, I believe we talked about this. I brought this up on the last episode where Tyrone Tracy just kind of took over the new running back role in New York. And then you see, and now that they drafted Scadaboo, it's just like, oh
Yeah.
man, like what's this
He's done.
value gonna be?
He's done.
And then it's like these are all like pretty low, like picks. Like it's not that they have a lot of capital invested in these guys, and running back just every year we see is just devalued. It's just becoming devalued just because you can scheme up so many good running games and running backs. And that it's like that thing is always there with Kyron for me. He is clearly the best player in this lot, and I think I just don't. I would never trade for Brees Hall or Jonathan Taylor. I just wouldn't in a dynasty league.
Mhm.
I could see myself trading for Kyron. So that's like where I was, where I'm like, okay, like it's still worth a shot here. Good, like fantastic offense. I'll be very wary, but I still think like I could still have like a decent conversation with someone where I'm like, okay, like I want to trade for this guy. And plus, like as you guys know, like I am not a Brees Hall fan, but I don't know, like I think he's gonna be better this year. Such a weird team, like just a very from top to bottom, like new organization, new coach, everything. So I'm a little higher on him, but yeah, long-winded answer.
Yes.
Sorry.
I just want to add, just going back a little bit to Kyron and his injury year 2 years ago. He was out for 5 weeks. One of those weeks was a bye week. He came back and dropped 38 points
I
the
remember
day
it.
he came back.
It's just that
So
like small running back, like the whole Philip Lindsay sort of thing. It's like this guy can get. It's the same thing with Achan. But like I mean, he gets value. He had a great season last year, but like same thing in like 2 years from now. We're gonna start being a little nervous about
Yeah.
Achan.
I mean, the reason I picked these three is I think in 2 years from now, there's a chance that all three of these guys are still great. There's a chance that all three of these guys are like basically done. Right? Like if Brees doesn't get a good second contract, same with Kyron, like who knows? They might just be a backup somewhere.
Yeah.
Taylor, he's about to be 27. You know, who wants a 29-year-old running back? No one really. So like it's an interesting thing. Like, will they get a big contract or not? I think I lean taking the risk with Kyron, hoping that the Rams re-sign him because if they do, that's just super high value.
Mm-hmm.
I think I trade Brees and I cut JT, which feels wrong, but I think that's what I do.
I was leaning the same way.
Yeah. All right. Shall we do some quick receivers before we wrap
Let's
up,
go.
boys? All right, I have three, but maybe we'll just do two, or we'll do the last one very quickly. The last one's nasty, but I want to know what you guys think.
God.
Oh, that's
But
gnarly.
but first one, we touched on both of these first two, so we'll go through these ones quick. But number one is keep trade cut Puka Nakua, Brian Thomas, CeeDee Lamb.
Oof.
That's kind of hard.
I think it's basically you take those top two, you take Chase out, you take Jefferson out, you take Neighbors out. Do you go super young with Thomas at 21.9, whatever he is? CeeDee Lamb's 26, but like obviously the most proven. Or do you go in the middle with Puka at 24, who when he's healthy is great? It's really tough for me with these three. Like, I think probably toughest of all these rankings so far.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards keeping BTJ.
Okay.
But I like Puka too. It's between those two.
Are you concerned about the Rams quarterback situation after
yeah.
Stafford?
Not only that, I'm concerned about Puka's health. That man plays like he's trying to like tear an ACL every time he's out there.
Yeah.
Like he'll tear an ACL for 2 extra yards to make it 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 4.
But he's so fun to watch, man.
Yeah, he
That's
is.
the
He's
thing.
awesome, man. Like he's awesome. He's unbelievable. He's tough. He's tough as nailed. But I don't know. I'd probably trade Puka, keep BTJ.
Wow, man hates CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. And you know me, like I want to name my team CD's nuts.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. All right.
CD
Shayan or
puts up them
Nitul?
points though year after year.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
next level points. And I think BTJ is gonna do that too. Puka. You're right, injury risk. I'll do CD, BTJ, and then Puka for this. But it
Keep
kills me to
CD.
drop Puka.
So keep CD, trade BTJ, cut Puka. Okay, Cheyenne.
That's tough, man. It brings me back to
Cheyenne's
our
been thinking hard.
conversation about Hunter and BTJ. That's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. Do you view Brian Thomas's performance last season with Mac Jones as he was a top
That was
what? I think
ridiculous.
he
Yeah,
finished 5th or 6th
that
with
was
Mac Jones for
ridiculous.
half the season. Was it like a Jameis effect where like Mac Jones is just out there chucking it and it actually helped BTJ, or is it more like he's just a worse quarterback and it hurt BTJ and he was still top 5, top 6?
I think it's that. It reminds me of Hopkins with all those shitty quarterbacks in Houston back in his prime.
So you think he'll be even better with
Yeah.
Trevor
Oh,
Lawrence?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He was 14th in targets, but 3rd in receiving yards. I think the dude's like he's making use of all of his targets.
He must have had a high A.2. I don't know if you know
Actually,
where he
yeah,
ranked,
it's
but he must have
actually
been up
not.
there.
It's 38th.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's surprising.
Yeah. You would think it's more, but he was like 11th after Yak. So
okay, maybe it's
after
that.
catch.
Yeah, he would just catch it and run.
Yeah, he had like one. I think it was one of those London games where he just like takes it like 60 yards. I forget, or he just like a go route that he just completely beat like his guy. And it was like the one where like the guy's just like flying to try to catch him, and he just hits the ground.
Yep,
I don't know if you
remember.
remember. But
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
Cheyenne, you were
all
saying.
right. I guess I'm gonna keep CeeDee Lamb, and I'm gonna trade BTJ, and unfortunately, I'm gonna cut Puka.
Wow.
I don't like it though.
Okay, I think I'm also cut Puka, which wasn't my initial thought going into this, but as I think about it, I'm cutting Puka. I think I'm keeping BTJ too and trading CeeDee Lamb, but that one's so hard for me.
Zach, these questions are making me sick.
Sorry, buddy. We're almost done, but I wanted to make it a tough debate.
It's a tough one, yeah.
All right, next one is kind of like how I view the next tier. All great receivers, Young, JSN, Lad McConkey, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Cut Marvin Harrison. I'm sorry. That was mean.
It's easy.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know about Kyler. It's not him. It's Kyler. It's like it's not me, it's you type situation, you know? So then it really comes down to.
Can I just pose one question before you finish your thought?
Yeah.
If you think back to the year before this past season, JSN was basically like left for dead. I know this because I traded him to Nitul for like not enough.
Shane Waldron.
Yeah, Shane Waldron. So if you think back to like JSN after his rookie season versus Harrison after his, like Harrison did better, like undoubtedly. Admittedly, JSN had to compete with Lockett and Metcalf, so that's part of it.
That's the
But like
big
people
part
were
of it.
like, "Oh, this man's done. Like he's a bust." So I just caution
Except
to
for
be
me.
like done with Marvin Harrison. You know, he's still 22.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I'm not done with him. I'm done with Kyler.
yeah. Okay.
And that situation hasn't changed, but the Seattle situation has changed, and that's why I'm higher on JSN.
Okay.
Yeah, but regardless, that is true. But I don't know. I think Darnold did well last season with the Vikings. I think he'll. I have faith in his comeback. But yeah, regardless.
Is that why no one in our league wants him?
Well, I mean, I don't know about it. His value
Darnold's
as a
available,
dynasty
by the way.
asset.
Dude, no one wants Darnold.
All right.
But I'll keep Lad because I think Lad is better than JSN.
Yeah,
He's
you
a
would.
little more proven, and then I'll trade JSN, and then I'll cut Marvin.
Okay. I think I'm the same. Lad has Herbert, and that's honestly what does it for me. Like,
yeah, good quarterback.
Simply that. Dits, you're the same.
Lad, JSN, Harrison.
Wait,
In that order.
Yeah,
Okay,
you said
so us
keep
three are the
Lad,
same.
right?
Yep.
You said keep Lad, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and trade JSN.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we're the same. And then last one, I thought I'd put a nasty one in there just to see.
Disgusting.
This is one where at some point, all of these dudes were like really high dynasty assets. Olave mainly derailed from injury. Waddle from, I don't know what happened last season, but something happened where he sucked. And Pickens moving to a new team. He was complaining a lot in Pittsburgh. You should do okay on the Cowboys, but who knows? You know, with Lamb also there. So how do you guys view these three?
I mean, I got 3 words for you: chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And I think the man's young, but it's been chronic for his whole life, man. He's been so concussed. I don't know how he's even walking anymore. I'm sorry, Chris Olave, cut, insta cut for me. I really don't even trust him to walk in a straight line anymore. Um, you
Okay.
know what? I'm looking at the other options. Let me
He's
walk
gonna
that
keep him.
back just a little bit.
I'm
Uncut,
keeping Olave.
uncut.
Waddle
He's been
right back.
uncircumcised.
Okay, yeah.
All right. We're gonna trade him though. So now it's
You're not
like
getting much.
not getting much. I don't even know. Oh my God. All right, come back to me, man. This is disgusting.
Okay, let's go to you, Dits.
I think I'm keeping Waddle just because, like, there's any. If I were to bet on some, or it's
Are
between
you a betting
keeping
man,
Pickens
Dits?
and Waddle, right? Whereas, like, so here's the thing. Like, we had just had Waddle's. He had 744 receiving yards, but only 2 receiving touchdowns. Like,
Also
again, like,
garbage.
say if that goes up, like, you can salvage him. Like, if Tua is in a good offense, I'm like, okay, fine. He could be like salvageable. So that's why I'm leaning Waddle.
But Dits, we have to mention how this man gets hurt every single game he
I
plays. Like
agree.
he'll come back,
Yeah.
but he'll limp off the field at least twice. And
Yeah.
you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
is he out
No,
for the
yeah,
season?
exactly.
And then he's back.
Yeah,
But
he
like,
is.
dude, as an owner of him in Dynasty,
Yeah.
it is so stressful.
Dude, yeah.
But
I
same
mean,
with all these guys. Olave
yeah.
gets hit to the head, he's done for the season,
Yeah.
maybe his career.
I mean,
And
the
Pickens
Waddle
is just
has
a fucking wild card.
Yeah, Waddle also has the one where he like plays with some lingering injury and he has like the red flag next to him on ESPN for like the whole week. So
It's just unsightly. No one wants
Yeah.
to see that Q
Yeah.
next to your name all week.
No,
It's just
exactly.
nasty.
But I'm like, say like he gets some more touchdowns and like I don't know if Tua plays more, I'm just willing to. Again, we don't love any of these, but I think I'm leaning towards keeping Waddle. I feel like you guys probably keep Pickens, but I don't know, something about Pickens just.
He's a nutcase, dude.
No, but like
Yeah.
he's
Pickens?
probably gonna have
Wild.
the best
He's
season.
wild, man.
He
But it's
might,
just-
but you know what's gonna happen in 2 seasons, right? He's absolutely crazy. No team's gonna. He's gonna be one of those receivers that keeps bouncing around because no team actually wants to hold on to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's the thing. Like what? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the answer is gonna. I feel like Pickens probably has a better season. It's just like I don't know. It's like we've talked about. I think on our last episode, the Pittsburgh wide receivers who have left. There's
Yeah,
just
they all go crazy.
yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
good. From AB, Claypool.
AB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing?
What are they doing to those
yeah,
wide
Juju
receivers
did
over there in
nothing.
Pittsburgh?
Juju,
dude?
yeah. No, it's like all of them.
Martavius.
Yeah. I'm keeping Waddle. I'm trading Pickens and I'm cutting Olave. Olave is just like one hit, he's done. Waddle, I just can't see the Dolphins continuing to run their offense like solely through Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
Like that made no sense to me.
No.
Like both Waddle and Hill were very disappointing. Hill is getting older. I think he's 31. I just feel like Waddle he's still young. He's drafted very high. Is he a top 10 pick? He was high first round pick.
Yeah, I think mid.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
like
don't think
to
he's a
me,
bad
I'm still
player.
keeping him. Yeah.
What's that, Sean?
I don't think he's a bad player. I just it's hard
Situation.
to. It's just a weird situation. But yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Zach. I'm gonna cut Olave, keep Pickens, trade Waddle.
All right. And to conclude, we'll do one rapid fire tight end, and then we're done for the episode, boys. Kittle, Laporta, and Tyler Warren.
It's keep trade cut. Okay.
Now Kittle's 30, almost 32,
Yeah.
but
You know,
he just got a
he did.
4-year extension.
He did, and he's not slowing down.
Yeah, they lost Debo,
Keep
so that's
Kittle,
gonna
trade
okay.
Warren,
Kittle's on the show.
cut
Sorry, what
Laporta.
was that? Can you
Say
repeat
again,
that?
Sean?
Keep Kittle, cut Laporta, trade Warren.
Natul?
Sorry,
It's
I don't know, I
Tyler
think I
Warren,
might-
not
I might,
trade Warren.
Nice.
I actually might trade Laporta and cut Warren.
Okay. Natul, are you keeping
Go,
Laporta?
go, go.
There's a good show on Netflix called Receivers, and Kittle's on it. You can see all about his personal
That's
life.
confusing. He's a
But he's
tight end,
old, and
I
I'm gonna
thought.
cut him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it
What'd
doesn't
you
say
say?
wide receivers. It just says receivers.
Fair enough.
I'm cutting Kittle. He's too old for a dynasty team now. I'm sure he's gonna regress. Um, I gotta keep my guy Laporta. Come on.
Okay.
He had a bad year last year, I think, but I think he'll. I mean, he's played phenomenally before, so I think he'll be back. And then at least trading Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Dits.
think I'm keeping Laporta, trading Tyler, cutting Kittle. I would say I would have probably flipped Laporta and Tyler if I knew who was QB in Indiana. I feel like maybe we get a new QB maybe next year, maybe in 2 years. But yeah.
Yeah, this one's tough. I think I'm gonna cut Sam Laporta.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna trade
Fair.
away Kittle and just take the risk on Tyler Warren. I don't
I
know.
don't hate it.
I just feel like Laporta's too touchdown dependent. I don't know. Something about him last
Kittle's
season.
hurt all the time though.
Well, he's getting traded away too.
Yeah. Okay. All
But
right.
Cut.
Sell high. Okay.
in terms
right.
of first, second, and third, is that your order too, or
I mean, I think long term value it goes Warren, Kittle, Laporta. Yeah. And nothing better than ending an episode with a rapid fire. Jonnu Smith, Kyle Pitts, Isaiah Likely.
Cut Pitts.
cut Pitts, or is this the comeback year? I'll keep Jonnu, trade Likely, cut Pitts.
I'll
You
keep
know,
likely.
Dolphins are trying to trade Jonnu, right?
Yeah, that's good.
I'll keep
Just-
What a
likely.
team
to
that
give-
needs him.
Just to give the info, Jonnu Smith is about to turn 30. Pitts is still 24, and Likely's 25.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep likely.
Yikes.
Cut Pitts.
Did
Trade
not know
Jonnu.
Jonnu was 30.
I'm
Yeah.
keeping Likely, trading Pitts, cutting Jonnu.
And Jonnu was the tight end 4 last season, which is crazy.
Insane.
Okay, Dits, what was your final?
Keep Likely, trade Pitts, cut Jonnu.
I'm the same.
I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah. All right, boys.
Not so easy.
That's another episode in the books. They didn't think we'd make it this far, but we did. That's 2 down.
Thanks
You
for
guys have
listening,
any
guys.
closing remarks for the people before we come back next time with some trade hypotheticals?
Yeah, I would sleep on Chris Olave. Like sleep on him.
With the AC and fan on,
Just sleep on him.
you're sleeping good.
Blanket or no blanket?
However you want. You're gonna fall asleep regardless.
Hey, if you've stuck around this long, subscribe, follow, whatever you call it. Show us that you're interested so we can stay motivated to keep putting videos and podcasts out there.
Which is 40
Yeah,
minutes
and if
now.
you're still here, comment what you'd want to see us do next. We're still kind of piecing it together. More sports betting to come as the season gets closer, but we've got some exciting episodes for you all in the future.
Yeah, we will live up to our podcast's name, Parlay Parlance, soon. Don't worry.
We will give at least one parlay at some point. All right, boys. With that, we are
Take
done.
it easy.